players to the stage in 5 minutes. Players on stage in 5 minutes.
I know it sounds complicated, but really don't worry about it. I've got the script for week 3 right here. Oh, God.
Well, they had to go to the stage, Drakos. That's what it is, because MAD Lions are playing SK Gaming. Did you like that?
I love that. You remember that game on like the iPhone back in Paper Toss, where like the wind was blowing?
That shit was goated. Yeah,
that was insane. That and Temple Run.
Temple Run, enjoyer.
Flappy Birds, anyone? We should probably move on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yes, we should probably move on because the race for groups is on. SK versus MAD Lions. SK recuperated very well last week, also yesterday, the MAD Lions. So, well, no, they played G2 yesterday and they lost, but they're doing all right comparatively to MAD Lions, I want to say. Especially if you take into account that the MAD Lions are a team that played in the Winter Finals exactly 1 month ago on this stage right here. Their fall from grace has been big, and it's weird because other teams have like taken the season in stride and have improved on the way, but for the MAD Lions it's been the inverse. Why do you think that is?
I wonder what exactly happened with MAD Lions, because I know like they had to play all the way up until the end, right? So they had less of a break than other teams, so maybe they took like a week off and then we're trying to figure some things out. But to me, MAD Lions just have not looked the same. Ever since the finals, I think the bot lane has struggled to have the impact, because they were crushing every single 2 versus 2 that they were playing all throughout last split. Now, well, it hasn't been, I don't think, bad by any means. I think you do see someone like Hylissang trying to do a lot more because the rest of his team isn't finding leads in the early game.
I think the strange thing, when I think of MAD Lions when they were looking at their best, when they were taking a game of G2, for example, or like in the regular split, or when they beat SK in the best of 5 and then Koi 2, I think the key thing was, I think they were quite ahead of the curve in terms of how they connected and played around mid. A lot of those games where they were winning was when Nisqy got super far ahead due to the support he got from Hilly and Elyoya. And then they were very capable of then transferring that into deeper parts of the game, and they just had a very solid understanding of macro. The other identity was when they were just playing for Chasy, when they was getting those monster leads. I feel like with the break and with the loss to G2, it seems like everything that they knew is now forgotten, and they're trying to find this way of rebuilding, but they're not really finding themselves in the current patch.
Yeah, I wonder too, because like early on, Nisqy was playing some more like cocktail champions around the mid lane as well, and I for one would like to see far more of like the Gragas that looked so good for him in playoffs. Like that's a champion that just enables you to play around mid so much, right? Like CC, long range engage, all these types of things. It's very simple to play around a pick like that.
Yeah, I think when I think of the best version of it is just the Divide, the Gragas combo. I think in the context of this split too, there was this Annie game that Hilly played. Also another champ that is so important, I believe, when I think of Hilly, the legendary Rakan as well. These are, of course, things that all the other teams know too.
Yeah.
And these are the bans that are coming in, and this is what is always going to be targeted when you play against the MAD Lions. And finding that additional layer that works for you will come at a great cost, because yesterday they tried something. They went for the Nautilus 1-2 to give agency to Hilly, but the enemy, of course, Fnatic in that case, responded super well. You have it on your screen, just the classic counter of picking Nautilus and inviting this Braum. You have this classic Freljord comp. I remember so many years where locking in Sejuani, Braum 1-2 just gave you a free win, because you have this composition that needs to dive in, but on the blue side, you have this giga anti-dive composition, and MAD Lions just got hit on the forehead with it. They tried to find some sneaky kills, they tried to kill Jinx, but they had to throw everything in there to kill Reckless in that game, and they just couldn't convert it into anything meaningful because the draft was just terrible.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating to watch, obviously. Am I thinking about it in too simple of a way? Because if I look at that, I'm like, okay, just pick the things that worked for you. If they're banned, just find something that similarly works like that, or is just patch in a place where that is much harder than meets the eye?
I mean, well, I think a good point Yamato was saying is like a lot of these champions have just been noticed by other teams and will get banned away from them. So I think that puts you in a tough position if you haven't been able to like build like a wealth of different champions you can slot into. But I also think when it comes to the way Mad Lions draft overall, a lot of times I see them draft themselves into like pretty narrow win conditions, right? Like that last game was a great example where like you are just going to get outscaled extremely. You're playing like Lissandra in the jungle, so like you're forced to find windows where you can get ahead, right? Because you know the clock is working against you. And I think this ties into even Hylissang, who everyone's seen the score lines, has had some really deadly games in terms of him. But I think that is him as a player going, okay, I need to make something happen early on because when the clock comes through, we are going to end up losing.
I think just when it comes to MAD, I felt like in spring, in winter, sorry, they were so good at finding their stride. I think that they came into the league and they had so many good directions in terms of what they were doing. I could always see the red line in terms of what they want to achieve and what they want to improve on, and I saw steady growth and improvement. And I feel like after their finals, they've kind of lost their way. And I'm hoping today that they really leverage their experience. I want to see Hilly picking after the enemy support if he can't get any, and Rakan, and I just wish that he has agency.
Let's see if he gets agency. For context here, Mad Lions, happy that Excel lost that previous game, but of course I want to pick up the win here. SK Gaming is currently at 4-3, so they're doing quite well, and we haven't touched on SK yet. Yamato, what are the pitfalls of drafting versus SK?
I think that what you need to pay attention to is just the Draven, I would say. Are you going to invite a situation where Exakick can play Draven? I think coming into 4-5, you need to also be very mindful of the Gnar, potentially the Sion, if your composition is weakened to it, because I think when it comes to the solo laners, they have these niche picks that kind of break down the enemy composition. Maybe the Sertuss Akali is something that you can target too.
100%. I think Relevant the last couple games too has been playing like bigger tanks on the top side. They've been playing more aggressive like kill lanes down bot side with the Akali mid as well. So there is a world here where Irrelevant does go that route, and Chasy has options to try and find, you know, one of his more niche counter pick options into a tanky top side. So I would expect Irrelevant to maybe stray away from that, take something a little bit safe. But the Sion is always going to be something on the cards for SK.
I'm hoping that we see a Rakan ban here from SK, or just a slam Mad Lions first pick Rakan. Okay, denying the Hilly champs. I just hope that Hilly can counterpick. I just wish that happens when we see a Hilly Braum, or he gets to play those rel angles, maybe a Pyke angle. I think that's when Hilly's in his element.
100%, especially, and I do like this for Mad Lions if they could get the Xayah on the cards.
Because of the Vi, right? Yeah.
The Vi, the heavy dive on the opposite side. If there's like a Sion, these things in the mix. Like, I just think Xayah solves so many problems against some of the more popular meta champions that are trying to dive in your backline.
I think a key thing about Xayah is that the enemy will feel very awkward about locking in Vi themselves, because Xayah just counters this champion. And then already, if you lock in Vi, you can even consider, oh, okay, they locked in Vi anyway.
Markoon's not afraid of that.
He doesn't care. I hope they just slam Sejuani now and just enjoy a game, or maybe Wukong. Xayah is very good into Vi, but you can also argue that Vi is good into Zeri, so it's just two schools of thought.
I know Elyoya has like the Wukong, but I do like the, well, it's actually just going to be a Lee Sin Lissandra angle. So, okay, so throw that out of the water, right? We don't need to go scaling options, but this is a very easy combination to play around mid lane, especially if you get Hylissang on a roaming support, which is usually what you'd like to see next to a Xayah. That's about as simple as it gets.
I wonder now if SK are going to go for the Lulu route, or if they're just going to slam a mid lane that is good into the Lissandra. Key thing about what Mad Lions have drafted so far is that they pick champions that are all good into Vi. That's a Sylas counter into Liss.
Yeah.
Sylas with Lissandra ult is a very dangerous champion. This is usually not something that you want to do blind with Lissandra, but this time we did see it, similar to the Vitality game.
Yeah, also just your healing, I think, diving in as a Sylas, where before you use Lissandra ult, you're getting one W off, you Liss ult, you heal.
Yes, yes.
When you come back, your W is off cooldown again. Like, that gives you so much survivability. And I think so many ults that Sylas can steal that give you added tankiness or added durability in a fight is an insane pairing, because it means you get 2 or sometimes even more rotations of your main spells off.
I wonder now if Mad Lions are going to ban the Lulu or invite the Lulu and counterpick it. I think that's the main question, because SK is the type of team that are going to be wanting to last pick support. Irrelevant is the guy that is going to throw himself on the sword to make sure that SK have a very good bot lane matchup.
I'd expect Mad Lions to also get rid of the Sion here. They're banning away the Malphite. The Sion 2 is another option. Like, again, just the heavy dive to sort of supplement. Because right now, Sylas, Vi are both trying to go in. If a Sion could charge in there and burn the Xayah ult, Vi can follow super easily.
For sure, for sure. The banning all of the all-in supports to the Hilly classics. I wonder now if the Lulu ban's going to come in or not. Because in the end, maybe Hilly's just going to slam maybe a Leona game, something like this. I wonder which direction Hilly's going to go for in this one. Sadly, picking Pyke into this is horrible, so we're not going to see a Pyke.
Pyke would not have a lot of fun here.
It would be super, super bad.
But exactly that's why he'll do it.
Oh,
Maybe.
is that the strategy?
No, I don't think so.
Hilly wants a little bit of a challenge, but okay, interesting. The Soraka has been something that Us has played here. I think it was paired with the Draven previously, but taking that one away. So, I mean, I would say, yeah, I can get on board with the Lulu here.
I wonder if this is their idea of either you pick Lulu or we're gonna pick Lulu. Okay, so they invited the Lulu. Let's see where we're going, Hilly. Make my day. A little Sion, maybe? Not sure. Chasy Sion is not something we've seen. The Kesanta is a classic of his.
It probably just ends up being like a Gnar or something, is what I imagine. But then you're also giving a Gnar over to a Sylas as well, so that makes Sylas very happy. Like, it's kind of tough to find something that Sylas
everything makes
love.
Sylas happy, right?
This is very true.
Usually, so.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Not buffed yet, the Kennen. We're 30.4, so still, you know. Oh, he goes Pyke anyway. Okay. Picking Pyke into this is rough, but Hilly is a magician. He's a professor. Give him whatever title you want.
We were
He's gonna
memeing
figure
Hilly.
it out.
This is what I'm saying, though. I feel like Mad Lions put themselves in like very narrow positions, right? Like, you have so many abilities to play around the mid lane and make that work. But I feel like if you're not finding a ton of success around mid, how do you win fights later on, right? Like, you have no real front line. It's all about finding picks, getting a huge engage to kick things off. But Elyoya is going to have to do some magic to start 2 fights later on.
This is, and the Sion as well is so good into composition. I feel like, once again, I 100% agree with you, and the window of agency is so limited. They need to snowball through 3v3 on mid and hope that it works out somehow. But SK can take their time, and that's where SK is the happiest, when they have time on their side.
It's like the monkey paw curls when you talked about Hylissang and what you wanted to see from him, and then he picks Pyke into this composition.
This is a very rough one. Like, Vi ult is hard. Sylas with Pyke ultimate is crazy. Zeri is beefy and very slippery. If someone's gonna make it with Pyke, it's Hilly though. So, you know, fingers crossed for our boy.
Fingers crossed indeed for the Mad Lions, because they definitely need the wins, and SK for me is definitely the favorite in this matchup overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think SK has been playing phenomenally. 4th place finish in winter, carrying that over into very good performances time and time again in spring. To me, looking after the draft, I'm even more confident. I think, again, it comes down to playing around mid. I'm very excited to see the Kennen on the top side for Chasy. He's been very good on more carry-oriented picks, but I think this one's really hard to pull off for Mad Lions.
Oh, a difficult one to pull off, but you gotta respect the choice. You gotta respect the Pyke from the side of Hylissang.
Hi, Capstad.
Capstad, who's always I think I saw Kakuka also in the audience.
Kakuka X-Warrior, some of the VCT friends in the studio.
So great fans to watch. Hopefully a fantastic game, SK versus Mad.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Now, there's a lot of exciting things happening in this game. Didn't think you were going to show me on camera. That's a bit awkward. This is a wrist stretch. Hello.
Looking
Firstly, if we can get the sweet, is there a sweet party hat graphic for Carzzy, or are we just ad-libbing this one? We're ad-libbing it. This is Carzzy's. No, that's Secret Labs. Okay, we'll wait. We'll give the chair their due time. Yeah, chair, thank you.
Love a good chair.
That's some it's a nice sponsor moment there. Anyway, the man of the hour, none other than Carzzy. 200 games in the LEC. There's the party hat. That's what we were waiting for. That's the celebration with the cute little ooh-woo face. He's out here.
He's dyed his hair as well.
He's got, I think, a prestige skin. I can't keep up. So many skins.
No idea. Looks cool, though.
Very golden. Maybe a chroma.
Feathers.
A lot of feathers.
Love the feathers.
Anyway, side note, stakes for this game. MAD Lions currently at a 68.8. Oh,
you could just say 69%.
69% chance for a tiebreaker, which is sick as that is, will go up to 90, nearly 91% if they find a win here. Big for the team. On the opposite side, SK winning not only locks themselves, but also Koi in for top 8 and for group stage. So
Koi will be watching this game in anticipation. So we've got Lissandra Lee Sin, classic. I think Peanut and Jovi were playing that today in the LCK. So much kill pressure over sides. Nisqy, nice trading. Didn't get the Q, but a lot of kill pressure over sides, a lot of kill pressure in mid, but Sylas is one of the best answers to this. When you get towards that level 6, you can self-ult, you can use your ult aggressively and set up with the Vi. A lot of chain CC there. After they're playing the Kennen. This is not the 13.5 Kennen, but it is a Kennen, so we'll see what he can
Level 1, Hylissang, hook in, dash through a level 2, Hellblitz! He's just gonna hit him! Oh, just the 1, 2, 3 with the little dagger there.
Damn, that prediction. I feel like that can't have been a reaction. It was so quick. I feel like he was there before them. 2 sums
for 1. He exists on a different spectrum of time. That's why sometimes the plays look questionable.
No. Nah, dude, Hilly on Pyke, what a treat. Here comes Elyoya. Oh, it's dive o'clock. Check your watches. No heal. What does your watch say, Drakos?
Watch says it's about time for a dive. No heal, no flash.
Here we
They got to cleanse, but what are you going to cleanse? Oh, Markoon's here in the area. Those could be a bit risky. They're going to try to finish off Dodge now, going for the pullback. Hylissang now going to go through. Markoon could be in trouble.
So clean.
Good damage. Feathers pulling back for a bit more poke. MAD Lions don't think they can go for the redive.
I feel like Hilly's probably saying, get me this wave, we'll get level 3, and then we'll go for a redive or something. Or just proxy it in their face. And now SK's
the next
gonna have
wave
to
is
run
coming.
past. Ooh, there's the level 3. Now SK, you can't tank the next wave because they can dash over the wall with Lee Sin Pyke. Oh, brother. Hold me, Drakos.
Man. They've locked them in the Thunderdome.
They're gonna get dove. Watch the hook.
Hook's gonna be big. Gonna pull Markoon back, now gonna dash back into Markoon and out to safety.
Okay.
Ghostwater dive, gonna ferry him away, so the redive will not happen.
No flash on Markoon. Big action in the early stages. Would be really nice for Hilly to get that ward as well, just so they can keep pressuring, so Markoon has to keep guessing as to where MAD Lions are. A lot of action early.
Yeah. And
Pyke lane just gonna unlock Hilly on the map.
When a Pyke lane takes over like this at level 1, not only can it start to spread its influence and take over the whole map, but bot lane until you have your summoners back up is essentially unplayable. Hylissang now coming into the fog of war, clearing out the vision. Just them showing up in that bush means Sertuss cannot walk up to the wave.
And the beauty of this is top wins in isolation, Kennen into Sion. Chasy will just push and poke and he'll play his own game, so they'll have a very useful top laner later on. And they can just keep pressuring this mid-bot side, and it's only going to get worse when Nisqy gets his first base off, because they're ticking towards that level 6. No summoners on bot. They're going to play mid to bot and try to dive them again, but Hilly. Look at this E here. So I feel like Hilly flashed first. I don't want to... Oh my god. That reaction time. Whether it was a reaction time or a guess, that was fractions of a second. Then the dive setup was great. What they do is they go for DOS because he's dropped away from the tower. Elyoya saves his Q here because Markoon can cancel him midair. Waits for the Q, finishes off the kill. Pop the heal. Hylissang uses the E to escape from tower range, get the wave, get level 3.
Just clean. Clean dive, landing skill shots, waiting around the enemy cooldowns. Very, very well played. And definitely the start that you want with a composition like this. Ender called it out. It's a competition that can be very feast or famine. But again, Pyke getting a game started off like this when you have the Halo Blades is massive.
So when's the next dive coming in? It looks like Elyoya is hovering around mid to make sure Nisqy can get that push. Checking that he's safe. And then he's going to bring the mid laner of MAD Lions with him. Trying to get this wave under tower. Not the biggest wave, but still it's a stack. Maybe a pink here would be good. If Elyoya can place one down and try to pressure, but yeah, there's a pink, so he knows that no vision. They did spot him on the last tick of the ward though, so they're going to back away. This pressure is unrelenting. They might need a relevant to... Nope, there's the TP top, so that's it.
So
stuck in a 4v4.
I mean, your one reliable late game scaling threat is Exakick. And he's just having such a hard time even approaching the wave right now. This constant dive pressure. Nisqy not even level 6 yet, and he's already starting to roam. He's already starting to get out of the lane.
This reminds me of MAD Lions from last year when they had Unforgiven on champions like Draven and Kalista. They would just constantly do this map movement. So with this Pyke pick, they're trying to imitate the success they found last year on that bounce back from 7th place in Spring to making Worlds in summer.
And again, for MAD Lions, the pressure really is on. It's been a bit disjointed from the team overall across this season, but in this game thus far, it's looking very clean. Need to keep that momentum stepping forward, though. Can be very tricky against the Zeri, but you've got the Kennen, you've got the Lissandra. You hit all your R buttons as long as you got enough targets in the circle, you're gonna find wins in these team fights.
And that'll transition into dragons, it'll transition into plates. And they need to keep up the pace and keep dictating this map.
Checking in on the top side of the map, of course, these are two players who we kind of used to talking about when we talk about these teams. Relevant on a signature Sion. Chasy, again, playing something a little bit more solo focused, but you can see that top stat is where I want to start. Jungle proximity, that's the amount of time their jungler spends around them. Both these guys, they get no attention. This is the top lane island. These are island boys without the bad face tattoos.
Everyone asks who they are, but they don't ask how they are, because no one ever visits their lane.
Nope, never.
So they're just sitting there in isolation, just duking it out.
Yep, and now it's going to be, can a Sion out teamfight value a Kennen, which is a
Hilly
tall
guess.
task.
Oh, the
Markoon
guess.
over the wall.
You can't block it, though. Not in time. Hilly, looking for
Calls
Sertuss.
coming out. Sertuss has the stolen Lissandra ultimate, but now who's going to be able to turn this one around? Sertuss just looking to find the initial lock on to Nisqy. Nisqy, if he ults too soon, could be in trouble, but he's going to E out. That's the Frozen Claw.
No mana on Sertuss.
Hylissang again, another hook. Sertuss no mana. That's the chain CC, the fall, but they don't quite have the damage. Hylissang needs to get out of that one. Ghost Water dive. What's the cooldown? He does not have it. They will burn through that health bar. Hylissang giveth and Hylissang taketh away.
Don't like him at his worst, you don't deserve him at his best. All in top.
Sion going for it. Chasy immediately going to throw down the ultimate, look for the chain CC just to make sure not a whole lot else can happen. Relevant still able to find the stun there. Big damage back onto the Kennen.
Yeah, playing with the Comet because he's against the range champ, really hard to play with Grasp, so he's just trying to poke him down. Plus 69 gold there on the Kennen, pretty nice. And Nisqy had a lot of access to a lot of tools there. He had the ult, he had the ignite, but he didn't have enough mana to commit to the fight. There wasn't actually a target that they could lock down, and Elyoya is still level 5. Hilly was getting heavily focused down in that 3v4, so they had to back off. Yeah. So a little bit too aggressive there from MAD Lions. Need to tone it in a bit, but keep up the pressure.
Just checking in on the itemization top side, I like that we're seeing a Rift Maker come out. Just a little bit of extra sustain alongside the Cole. Let you out-heal a lot of the Sion trading. I think the way that you can lose to Sion in all-ins is you get down to like 50% HP, and even if you're full AP Kennen, he's just going to ult into you, hit you once with a full rotation, you'll get knocked out. So opting for that sustain, even if it does hurt your team fight impact, makes the lane phase that much stronger.
Herald's up, you can see Elyoya's up towards his top side, gets level 6 off blue buff, gonna go over to the Gromp. Markoon finishing the red will get level 6 too. Maybe both junglers want to impact something on the top side, look for a kill or blow a flash and push them back to get this Herald, but it looks like Markoon's gonna base here. He doesn't have a ward to place down, but there is a pink actually that he's put down in the back of the pit, so as he starts it up here, Lee Sin will be spotted on vision. Exakick and DOS are ready to move up the river, but they're going to go back towards the bot side of the map. So this should just be a free Herald here for MAD Lions, which they will then invest on the bot side of the map for Carzzy and Hilly.
Hilly getting close to level 6, actually just ticking over to level 5, so still a bit of time before he'll tick over to level 6, but that's going to be a big break point. The execution potential to come through and see if Hylissang can start to roam and be more active on the map, or continue to roam and be more active on the map in this case as he starts to turn his attentions towards the mid lane. Elyoya uncontested again, finishing the Herald, grabbing the local gold, and we'll see. I think your prediction's probably spot on. Can look to focus the bottom side of the map as Sertuss can really never E forward when he's not sure where Hylissang is.
It's the pressure of having bot push and controlling the bot side river, especially with a champion like Pyke. Always can get up and down that river so quickly. Boots of Swiftness, the W.
Yep.
SK will get pushed on the bounce when they move out of lane like this. But what can they play for right now? The Zeri and the Lulu are in the river, but Nisqy's never really under any threat. Sertuss can't take away the ult just yet, I believe. It's probably still on cooldown. So they can sweep out the vision. Markoon wants to look for a play though, see if Nisqy face checks the bot side, but he goes towards the top side instead, where he has the vision, where he feels safe. And he'll take a base of his own. So this push and pull. SK now have the push. See if they can find a play. And he's still lurking in the river. Exakick straight into his face.
Going over the wall into Hylissang. Hylissang immediately going to back away, not going to take any potential bait there, knowing that Vi, as well as Sylas, could be coming down.
Nisqy coming out of base is going to be the next turn for MAD Lions. Once he pushes out that mid-wave, team up with Elyoya and move into his bot side. Top crabs up, which would be nice, but he needs to stay on this bot side of the map, I feel like, Elyoya. If he does go top side, his bot side might be a little bit vulnerable, because Sertuss can move down. They have the entrance ping control. If they can get a wave in bot, they can find a dive of their own, which is not ideal when you're playing Lee Sin Lissandra. You really want to be the ones to be pressuring that. Maybe they're hoping that the Lee Sin face checks them here somewhere. But yeah, he's on the other side.
And while the dive is a little bit difficult, because the Xayah is such a hard target to lock down, if they ever catch Hilly out, very squishy, no way to get out of the CC. Then again, though, so much mobility that it's hard to ever find that opportunity to connect. Vi, of course, one of the champions that can just take away so much of what Pyke wants to bring to the table. Not quite the Camille in terms of hard counter, but definitely strong interactions.
level 6. The amount of damage this jungle mid support of MAD have is incredible. They'll burst someone down in a chain CC. Now the other one's looking for the pick, looking for Markoon. Whichever jungler face checks first is basically dead. So they both want to hide, but they know that Elyoya's in this bush.
Going over the wall, locked up immediately. Gonna go for Lissandra. I'll burst through the Lee Sin before anything else can get done. Nisqy just a little bit late on the ultimate. He needs to make his way out of that play.
That's the power of the Sylas into Lissandra. Whatever you can do, I can do better. And with the Vi chain CC as well, yeah, either of these junglers, whoever gets spotted first is just blown up in an instant. Nisqy still has access to that ignite. He used his ult there, so that hinders a lot of the playmaking towards mid, but Sertuss invested the flash to gap close. Need to wait for those ults to come back up, and then MAD Lions can start the pressure again, but SK doing very well to fight back.
Yeah, and not really giving any more windows of opportunity for Hylissang. Flashing forward here on the bot side, seeing their window of opportunity open up as Hylissang's been spotted mid, at least poking Carzzy out of lane for now. Feather's still down, so Exakick starting to play up in the lane a little bit.
Oh.
Hylissang now on the repeat, though. They may have overstayed their welcome. A flash on DOS indeed. Hook now going to go in. Instant Phantom Undertow for the fall. Wild's Boat should not be enough here. Nisqy going to come over the wall with the claw. It's hidden into the wall. They can't see it coming, but they don't have the tools to respond even if they did. That's the snare now going in. Elyoya with the follow-up on the kick. DOS! Clean sidestep, but it will not stop the reset. Hylissang finding that extra money.
Herald plays down. Sertuss wants to hover down as well, but his ultimate's not up yet. Maybe could look to take the Pyke ult, get some work done, but the Herald will crash. Carzzy will step up for the gold. Not sure if they can commit for the full tower. Looks like they might do, but SK setting up a small trap here with Markoon and Sertuss lying in wait if they do commit. Smartly, MAD Lions decide to back away and they'll lose a dragon for this maybe, but Nisqy's just TP'd back with a Rod of Ages and a stopwatch. His ult probably coming up soon as well. Elyoya's as well.
6 seconds on Markoon's ult. Hylissang has to be a bit careful.
Maybe they can fight this. They have to buy time for the Lee Sin and the Lissandra burst. See if they want to contest this. Elyoya can look for the steal, but Markoon will ult him straight away. Carzzy's far. They don't know that Exakick's basing though.
They're a bit split here on this play. DOS in the area as well. They just need to back off on this one. Good call. Not going to overcommit.
Yeah,
get a little time for Nisqy in the mid lane to free hit. Maybe gets a plate. There it is.
Not enough timing on the ults for the Lissandra. And all the meanwhile in isolation, Chasy's just trying to get a small CS lead in top. Not really much either top laner can do. Irrelevant used the ult there off screen and chunked out Chasy. We saw Sion's base and ult towards bot, then TP back towards the top side, but now he won't be able to do that kind of play. Plating's falling off in a minute's time. Bot tower will probably fall here for SK now that MAD Lions are in this river. A lot of tempo invested by SK to get that dragon. Stop that soul stacking. But now the tower will fall, and we'll see how MAD Lions move their bot lane around this map.
Yeah, if they want to open up, they want to put Carzzy in the mid lane, free up Hylissang to roam even more, but that means putting Lissandra on side. We'll see what the option is going to be for the team at this stage of the game. Right now, the MAD Lions, significant lead. SK have done well to match back in some of these plays, and even though it is 2-2 in terms of overall kill score, a lot more plates and objectives falling in the favor of MAD Lions.
So, Carzzy's moving mid. Nisqy doesn't have the TP, so maybe they put him towards top side, or depends which lane they're playing for. Ideally, they play for top, but Chasy doesn't have TP either. Irrelevant's taking over mid while Sertuss is top. SK's lane assignments are really weird here. They've left their Zeri all alone. Luckily for Exakick, it's only Hilly, but it could have been a lot worse with the information that they currently have. Herald's up in a minute. Seems like they're looking for Chasy. Pink ward's there. Should spot both the jungle and mid laner.
No ultimate, but an ultimate that can't be stolen away. Chasy, Riftmaker finally coming out, so a bit more sustained in the matchup, but they've opted to put the Sylas into him now.
It's kind of awkward for MAD. There's no objective bot side, so Nisqy's pushed out and he's based. Hopefully he moves towards mid-top now so they can start pressuring an objective, try to pressure that tier 1 top, fight this Herald. Irrelevant's going to have to push out bot and match him in the next 30 seconds, and we might have a 5v5 on our hands. MAD Lions trying to get rid of a lot of this vision, but that one ward in the middle of the river, unspotted. No Umberglaive for Hilly, no sweeper either. It's only Nisqy with the sweeper. Let's see if he pops it. He does, so they get that one ward. And now all the vision for SK is gone on this top side. I think their idea here is let's hit bot tower with Sion. Let's lean down there with the Zeri and the Vi. And we'll drop this Herald. But they're playing on 2 lanes here, MAD Lions. They can get top tower, they can look for mid tower, they can look for Herald. There's a plethora of objectives ready for them to pick up. And Sertuss is a bit exposed. TP ready for the Sion.
Has the Kennen ultimate. Koi versus BDS upcoming, but I'm not sure if there's a stopwatch upcoming. Check the inventory in a moment.
Early TP.
Sertuss, no stopwatch available, no chance to burn the Kennen ultimate. They're trying to shred his health bar before he can push the R button. He'll try to fire back. Irrelevant now here, trying to burn through Nisqy. Nisqy going gold in a brief moment, but the Sion will get nothing back. Markoon waiting in the darkness. But there is no play to be had here. MAD Lions finding the dive, finding 2 kills.
Pixel perfect. Sertuss was in the animation of his W, ready to heal up, but he died as he was dashing forwards. That means that not only do MAD Lions get 2 kills, but they keep their bot tower alive. Irrelevant had to TP up here. They get top tower of their own. They're going to get this Herald. Mid tower is extremely low, so now this game has just been blown wide open.
Absolutely has. On top of that, so much of the power of this team we didn't even really get to see. Carzzy 1K ahead individually, 1.1K now for Hilly. Natural when a Pyke is getting these kills, getting these resets, but once Umbral Gave comes online, that's going to be big for the Vision game.
So TP's coming in, and Nisqy just says, we can launch on him, just trust me. Let's just blow everything onto this Sylas, and they can. Watch his HP here. He's going to dash W here. Gets so close to get the heal, but dies in the animation. Nisqy with the stopwatch to stop the Sion Q. Hylissang and Carzzy have arrived to make sure the kill happens. Markoon and Exakick a little bit too late. They were hovering towards the bot side of the map. Mad with the Vision can always get there first with this Herald in their back pocket. I expect them to use it for a side lane tier 2. 600 gold on either the Lissandra or the Kennen would be big. And that mid tower they can slowly start to chip away at. They need to get Exakick's flash or cleanse so that he can't walk up this confidently on the mid waves. And then they can pressure them out, look for these Drake stacks. See how SK can respond, grouping up with the Vi. And the Sylas would be ideal, but Sertuss is up towards the top side. His TP is coming up now. Nisqy has the ult on this weak side. Chasy no TP. See if he can live in this 1v3, 1v4. Could even be a 1v5 at this point.
So much pressure going down onto him. No one in Mad Lions in the area. Nisqy taking his time. Is going to get turned into a little critter, but will still manage to get the ulti off and fits for the snare here. Nisqy, what's the angle to go? He's going to try to Frozen Path back out into Markoon. He will eventually drop. Irrelevant going to grab that kill.
A lot invested though. SK not confident enough to go for the tower. Yes, they are. They've stopped their bases. They're going to commit to this. Dragons in 30 seconds. Mad Lions will look to chase them down slowly to make them run all the way back to base to buy them enough time to get this dragon. Chasy doesn't have TP. If he did, they could commit to a fight here, but maybe they go anyway. Sertuss no TP.
A lot of low health bars.
No shield bow on Exakick either. Markoon has no ult. Can they win this? 4v3
on the backside. Is he going to be ready? The initial CZ hits. He doesn't even push ult. It might be too late. The health bars are Carzzy going back in. Exakick firing back in response. But here comes Hylissang. Just waiting. Fishing for the angle. For now, going to set his sights on the Sion. Has the ulti. Could go for Exakick, but doesn't want to overcommit here. No, he does.
Hilly wants more, doesn't he? Oh, he ults for the gap close. Oh, hits the creep though. Really wanted that Sion. Chasy pushed out mid. All the meanwhile, Dragons up. That should be an easy objective for Mad. 3v4. Very close. If Hilly was in range for that death from below onto Exakick, he could have got a reset and found a lot more kills there.
A lot more money as well, but for now, Mad Lions going to be happy with the Chemtech Drake, Chemtech Soul. Pretty clearly the weakest Soul overall, but when you're this far ahead, you're not going to be too concerned. Happy to take the free Drake on the back of the play. And this is tough now, because you got Lissandra just about at 2 items, you got Xayah at 2 items, and you can see, you highlighted it, it takes so many resources to dive Nisqy.
Yeah. This frame here, the Sion Q charge up almost gets the knock up. Cancel on the TP by Hilly made that play a whole lot sweeter. Nisqy gets the self-ult, Markoon has to drop, then Exakick gets rooted, he has to drop, the shield bow saves him. Then Irrelevant tanks, he doesn't mind too much. They commit to the tower, so that means they're overstaying. Mad tried to collapse on the 3v4. They don't have vision though, so you can see Hilly trying to get wards down so they can spot them, but DOS using pinks and the sweeper to stop them from being able to see where SK are. Then it becomes a bit of like shooting fish in a barrel because Exakick's so far away. Nice chain CC onto Carzzy, lives on 1 HP with the heal. E-Flash gets dodged, tries to get the Gale Force with the autos onto Exakick. Hilly here doesn't want to commit with the ult, just looks for Irrelevant, gets his flash. TP invested by Nisqy just in case, and SK get out.
Clean flash out from Irrelevant. Ultimately good from SK that they're able to salvage that play. It could have been disastrous as you highlighted. Right now the goal is still very clearly in the favor of Mad. But giving their carries more times to scale up on the side of SK. Don't know if it gets much easier though as the Kennen gets more items, Lissandra gets more items. And this is going to be a tricky one to navigate. SK keep having to find these fights where they can approach, they can outplay maybe some of the CC that's present, because this is a tough game to play if you're Markoon right now. Can't go on Lissandra, can't really go on Kennen. Hard to go on Xayah outside of that last scenario we saw. Now maybe the play going to come out there instantly, going to try to change CC, and they find Carzzy! They push the buttons too damn good. He can't even get the chance to ultimate. Wild growth now coming out. They're trying to body block the Lissandra. Chasy waiting over the wall. Irrelevant. One man in the face of Lissandra just charging forward. Frozen subjugation. Not even going to get a chance to come out here. Instant E over the wall. He threw it through the wall, folks. You might not have seen it, but Nisqy had it prepped.
Elyoya's alright as well. Dashing over the wall towards Chasy. Hasn't really found the big Kennen flank yet, but he's building up to it. Still has the flash. 2 items strong. SK don't want to overcommit. Nice play there on the defense. Looking for that mid tier 2. They managed to hold on to it. A lot of creeps in top side that they can pick up as well. It's the small wins that matter when you're this far behind. Just chain CC. You can see the Sylas taking away the Lissandra ult. Hilly's marking Markoon on the side, so they know that this engage is coming. A bit of disrespect here. Way too far forwards. Q flash means that Carzzy can't react in time with the ult. And he is taken out, and with their carry down, Mad Lions only really rely on burst from the Lee Sin and Lissandra, which is not sustainable against 4 or 5 members. Have to evacuate.
Yeah, good on Nisqy to be able to make it out of that one. Of course, now at 2 items. Chasy could be in trouble here. Sertuss on the top side going to leap in with the stolen Kennen ultimate, trading stuns for stun, but Markoon already there to body block. Chasy now running out, going to fish for a second stun here as soon as he has the cooldown, but it's too little, it's too late. Chasy getting taken down here on the top side. Irrelevant, a tough target to burn through. Until Carzzy's in the area, he is really just not under threat. SK right now, this is looking like a damn good fight for them. Burning all the cooldowns onto DOS, so immediately the support is now gone, but Hylissang has managed to find the reset. Irrelevant, now going to be in trouble, fishing for the knockup of the Gale Force. Coming through for Carzzy. Nisqy off to the side, goes golden, but he's in the waiting arms of SK, but now the turn coming out. Passive resets for the Pyke and the Lissandra. Ready to keep this fight going. Exakick and Markoon backing away. Mad Lions cleanly taking the fight.
Turning towards the Baron. Markoon doesn't have smite. Mad Lions do not know that. Elyoya's will be up by the time the Baron gets low enough HP. SK could try to threaten the 2v4. No TPs available for 25 seconds. Hitty just trying to zone them away. Markoon kind of faking here that he can smite this. Trying to force Mad Lions back. So Mad are a bit unsure. Do they just go for the flip? If they do, they'll win it.
Should come out on top. Hylissang trying to zone as much as he can. Ulti reset is faded away, but that's going to be Baron for Mad Lions. 21 minutes to the game, 7K in their favor.
Good patience as well, making sure they wait for the Vi Q just in case. And the second they see that, they know she has no flash, no way into that pit. Good fight from Mad Lions on this top side. Looked a little bit bad in the initiation because obviously Chasy fell to Sertuss and Markoon, but DOS instantly getting blown up, not able to use any of those abilities to protect Exakick, to have the confidence to go forwards. And we'll see it again. It was the TP coming in after the pick. I think Nisqy, you can see him on bot wave here. It looks like Irrelevant's fighting Elyoya off to the side. Exakick's there as well. It's a 2v2 in the river. And Nisqy says, let's go for the engage. The hook probably lands, and then they just TP in after Chasy dies. DOS is around, but again, Lee and Lissandra mid-game can just blow up anyone. Exakick's really split off to the side.
Yeah, no real angle for Exakick to come to this fight. Let's see if he can actually do anything here. Split fight, immediate burst. Pyke gets the ult reset. Lissandra gets the frozen subjugation. So the Thrall's going to move in here and slow 2 members.
Stop watch.
Nisqy buys so much time. And again, this is what makes this composition so hard to play against. There's so many fantastic defensive tools that SK can't just pick and blow up a single target in the way that they want to.
Barrier as well. Spellbook Lissandra can buy a lot of time looking for this top tier 2, but they're sieging 5v5. It's really hard to break a tower on a siege 5v5, even though you're this far ahead. Because you have to commit to the dive to stop them from wave clearing. Instead, they're going to back away here. Carzzy not able to pick up an item just yet, still sitting at 2.5. When he gets that Bloodthirster, he's going to be almost untouchable. 10 seconds on this next dragon. Reset, pick that up, get yourselves on soul points, control the map. Both these side lane tier 2s is where Mad Lions want to focus. Nice bot wave is setting up as well, if they can get to that in time.
Yep. Do they want to go, I think, go through bot first, maybe get the dragon set up? They should be able to get both bot tower and dragon here.
Is it going to be the hilly split push on Pyke again? It might be while they go towards dragon. But SK trying to answer on the top side. Obviously, they don't have the Baron, and there's still a tower up here. So it's going to take them a while before they can start threatening any kind of base crack on the inhibitors. But both their solo lanes are here. Both of them have TP. Carzzy soloing the dragon. Elyoya and Nisqy ready to punish whoever walks up to this bot side tower.
I think it's a good play from SK ultimately. You're not really going to be able to respond to that bot side tier 2 and the dragon, so might as well get something back in return. You could sit here and be a spectator to the tower falling, but don't need to commit too many resources yet. We'll see if this could cost Exakick and DOS though. If Mad Lions want to pull the trigger, they have a brief window here before Vi comes in.
There's the hilly split push. He's buffing mid waves, trying to threaten this inhibitor tower, but he can't walk up and hit it. He just makes it so Sertuss takes longer to wave clear, and then Hilly can run bot, and then they have a numbers advantage for a short window where they can force something. This case, it doesn't work out as well,
over
but they're
the wall, will not go in, faking it for now. Elyoya trying to back away. Sertuss is stolen away the ultimate. They're going to try to lock up Carzzy, but this time Carzzy goes up into the air. This time Carzzy is ready. He's firing in to Sertuss. He's pulling back the feathers, but Sertuss going golden. In the meantime, Irrelevant is split him off. Chasy now going to be in trouble. Mad Lions overall, fighting fire with fire here. 2 members still standing for the side of SK. Irrelevant and Exakick versus the world. Hylissang gonna get locked up, gonna get knocked up, but he has the dash back out to safety. Phantom Undertow taking him away. Exakick leaping forward, but into the waiting kick. There's no room left to play. Exakick gets one back in response, but Mad Lions still taking a commanding advantage in that exchange.
2 for 4. Baron buff is worn off. Irrelevant can try to wave clear here, but he's gonna take a lot of damage if he does. Trying to push this wave back as far as possible. Manages to land the Q. Do they have the damage here, Mad Lions, to get the kill? Looks like they will in the end. Flash away. Does Elyoya follow it? Yes, he does.
Irrelevant. Very hard to kill. Jackcho going to proc just in time to give him a bit extra health. DOS on the way in. The tower going down, and Mad Lions need to retreat.
Tough fight for SK. I feel like the engage was just really split. Irrelevant Sion ult, just cashing in there all the gold. Irrelevant Sion ult not arriving in time. You saw Markoon go in, Sertuss go in, and yeah, Irrelevant just wasn't there. So let's watch Markoon here on the Vibe. Almost dies. Wild Growth saves him. Sertuss off to the left, instantly flashed in, but they're going 2-man into 3 or 4 members. So by the time they've both died, now Irrelevant's here. SK really split up. They want to make sure they have some kind of front to back going on. And the Vi Sylas can flank so that the Zeri can find space to work with, but the only space that they found was onto the Kennen. And the 2v4, they don't really stand a chance. Exakick flashing forwards here, trying to commit to the kill, knowing he's already dead probably. Try and get one in return.
You do what you got it. Trying to hold on, trying to delay the base from being broken open, as that's the big pressure point that they may struggle to deal with. They do not have great, reliable wave clear in the face of the Baron. Sion's beefy health bar, their best option paired with that Q. Let's see what the option is. Again, MAD Lions pulling further and further ahead. 9K advantage, Soul point in 2.5 minutes. Or Soul, rather, in 2.5 minutes.
No Baron for 1 minute 20. I think that's where MAD Lions want to set up, so that's why they're hovering on this top side of the map. Maybe a couple top waves that they can play on once they push SK back into their base. Doss gonna get hit by the hook.
Gonna find the hook. Doss locked up. Doss taken out. Now Markoon force feels like he has to re-engage. Maybe they can burst through Carzzy. Exakick sidestepping the feathers. Gonna be big. Carzzy taken out here in the exchange. It could be enough. The reset's now coming in. Frozen subjugation. Chasy desperate to get more kills. Desperate to get more taken out. The Thrall gonna do a bit of damage to Irrelevant. The knockup's still coming. It takes them so long to burn through this Sion. But Hylissang, does he have the alt reset ready? He does not. Sertuss now keeping this one going forward. Exakick, all eyes on Exakick. All eyes on the Zeri going over the wall. Fishing for Hylissang, desperate to finish this one off. Sertuss on the backside, they don't quite have the damage. Elyoya going in. He can't follow the kick. He's got nothing left. The Ultra Shock Laser will not connect. Exakick holding on. SK holding on in the fight.
Gonna have to back away now though. 1 minute 40 seconds on that Dragon Baron up in 30. 2 for 1. They got Carzzy down, but they lost so much in the exchange for that kill. Exakick had a lot of space to work with. Look at his items. If he had Infinity Edge there, that was a wipe for SK. Just a little bit behind on gold. They should be able to pick it up on this base now, but you can see when there's a front to back and Exakick has members in front of him where he can start stepping up, he can do a hell of a lot of damage. Nice that they got Carzzy down. I'm actually surprised they managed to find Carzzy because Doss dies instantly again. Pulled back from the feathers, gone. Carzzy then pops the ult here after Markoon gets the chain CC up. I thought he was fine here, Carzzy, once he ults, but then they commit. Sion Q was perfect. Exakick gets the kill, shut down over, and then here comes the 3v3. Hylissang's off to the side. Exakick has to disengage, and MAD want to drop the Zeri stacks here. Exakick wants to keep them up, so they really want to keep fighting. The Zeri stacks do eventually fall off, so that's why MAD are advantage, but kick from Sertuss was really good. Chain CC was layered. Chasy almost goes down. Exakick has to dash over the wall here to dodge the stun. And then in this 1v2, 1v3, he does win. Has the shield bow up still.
I mean, so tense. Ultimately, MAD Lions still trading positively in that fight, but you can see the threat of this Zeri, especially now that she's ticked over to 3 items.
Yep.
They can't afford to misplay or misposition, even with this massive of a gold lead.
10,000, but SK putting up a fight. Big spikes for MAD Lions,
but
though.
It's kind of a bait because 3.4K of that is Hilly's individual lead.
True, but also the spikes. Look at Kennen and Lissandra, so close to Rabadon's. Elyoya's really close to that GA. MAD could just stall the game out a little bit, wait for those massive spikes, and then the fight will be a lot more in their favor because of raw item gold value. Don't think SK are that far behind, looking at their champions as well.
Yeah. I think the other big thing is Lord Dominic's for Carzzy. That's the thing we have to keep our eyes on because the death cap's going to help, but Sion is really one of the big problems in these fights, the fact that they can't just burst through Irrelevant. The second you have that Dominic's, it's going to get so easy for Carzzy to shred.
Nisqy.
Try to go through the Sion right now. Knockup going to come out onto Nisqy. Markoon in trouble is going to ult back onto the Lissandra. Not an ideal target, but they're going to try to keep the fight going. Nisqy still in the midst of everybody. Carzzy now stepping forward. This should just be a slaughter in favor of MAD. Exakick untouched on the backside, but every single member of his team getting knocked down. Sertuss running away with a blinking health bar. Exakick the only one relatively unharmed, but an easy fight for the MAD Lions.
Both carries live. Sertuss on a slither of HP. Exakick really can't walk up. Doss is struggling in these fights. Every single time he tries to play by the side of his AD carry, he's just getting melted, blown up. Any ultimate lands on him, he's gone. Chasy didn't even use the Kennen ult in that fight, and it was really one-sided. That's Soul for MAD. It might be Baron as well. 20 seconds on Elyoya, but no smites apiece. Nisqy could swap over with Spellbook if he has it up. Looks like they're going to base. We'll check in with live just in a second, but Nisqy just playing slow here, just using the root onto Irrelevant so that Carzzy can step up and hit. Now watch Doss and Exakick on the backline. It looks good because they can step up. Markoon gets an ult because he has to go in here or he's dead. But then Doss just instantly dies again. Flash from Nisqy, ults himself. Doss gets kicked back, knocked up, whatever it is, he's gone. And now the Zeri's playing alone, no Enchanter by our side, can't really step up. Triple kill for Carzzy.
Yeah, and credit to Carzzy. He's got caught out once or twice. He's had a couple of moments where he could have ulted. It was a little bit sloppy, but for the most part has been very clean. 8, 3, and 6. Matching a lot of what Exakick has been able to do in these fights. And it's rough position for Exakick because it really does feel like it's all eyes on him. But yeah, as you highlighted, Doss getting picked off. There is so much damage on this composition that he really cannot afford to get caught out by anyone. Literally any single member of that team will one-shot him if he's missteps.
I mean, ideally, if he can walk up and polymorph the Kennen or Lissandra, that'll do wonders for SK, but I think he just needs to, at this point, just play really far back. No flash, no heal. He has nothing. If he walks up and polymorphs, he's going to get instantly blown up, so he needs to play behind Exakick, make sure that he's safe, and follow in his footsteps as to where he decides to go in these fights, where he wants to maneuver. Baron's up, Mad Lions going to take control of this topside jungle. No tier 2 means defending these pinks becomes really, really hard. SK going to be pushed back into their base. They could pick up this tower on top lane that's really low before they move into this Baron pit. I think SK will probably have to give that up, but Exakick's getting really close to that Bloodthirst, so 4-item Zeri with the lifesteal.
The potential
Markoon.
carry is there. Markoon doing what he can to hold on. Threat of the claw, but not the actual. Will not follow up. Irrelevant, forced to flashback on safety. Mad Lions can play this slow.
They really want to defend this SK. I don't think they should. Need to run away.
On the tower. Irrelevant going to zoom out to safety. Shirelia's used, limiting some of the disengage or re-engage potential from the side of SK.
No TP on Irrelevant. I think SK just hoping for a miracle here, hoping they can get Exakick to that Bloodthirster before the next fight. Chasy's taking a base. He has the TP. Wards behind SK if they walk into their own jungle on the top side. Needs to be very careful if they decide to walk into that darkness. They're going to have to face check eventually, but they've got no blue orbs actually. 4 sweepers and their blue orb from Exakick's on cooldown.
Going on the kick. That's going to be big. They won't follow up with the kick. Irrelevant just setting up the Q in case Lissandra does try to follow up. Now the retreat coming out. Chasy looking to chase down Irrelevant. Sion isolated. What will it mean for the team though? Is there any actual fight here to be had? If they're going to get the TP out from Sertuss as well, but again, there's no fight here. Easy pick off onto the Sion. They got more than enough pen now to burst through that life bar. All that extra health, all this resistance is just not meaning much at this stage of the game.
Markoon going to go in here. It's 4v5. There's no way they're going to be able to turn that. Lissandra ult's on cooldown, yes, but Chasy's got a fantastic position off to the side. They walk in this choke. He's going to flash over that wall with the Kennen ultimate. They're going to go mid instead, see if they can get that tier 1. Nisqy, Hilly, and Chasy will not allow it as Elyoya and Carzzy solo out the Baron. Do they really want to give up this tower? Mad look confident enough to step up, get the wave. The tower will fall, but now SK's on the wrong side of the map. Zeri can jump over the wall.
No, should be okay for now.
They're going to chase him though. No TP on Irrelevant.
Chasing down to the jungle, trying to finish off the red buff. I think just trying to run out to safety, waiting on the blast cone. Is going to just instantly proc it. Does not wait. Good call overall. So SK retreating for now, but that's Baron. That's Chemtech's Soul. 10k gold lead for Mad Lions. There's not a lot left for them to accrue in terms of advantages on the map.
This should be it. This should be enough for Mad to end the game. Fights are going back and forth. All of them Mad Lions favored, but not enough to crack the base open or look for the end. Does net them all these neutral objectives though.
And remember, if Mad Lions win here, the percentage of remaining scenarios where they get a tiebreaker at a minimum to make it into top 8 is 90.6%. So just about guaranteeing themselves a tiebreaker. We'll see what else they can do in their games to come. But ultimately, big stakes here. On the opposite side for SK, they would lock themselves as well as Koi in the top 8. 2 teams could have been locked in this game. You talked about it. Koi probably watching this one would have been happy to be locked in, but right now it seems less and less likely as Mad Lions in the final moments of our regular season seem to have found their footing. Hylissang stepping up. Carzzy ready to throw out some damage. You can see Irrelevant, not a tank anymore. Just getting shredded. That's 2 autos.
Siege is coming in. Mad are going 5-man on this top side again. No split push available. SK should be able to hold for a little bit. Mad might have to step up here and get really confident.
But going in, they're just going to burn through Markoon. But now Irrelevant going in, look for the setup. Sertuss, is the ult going to be enough? Trying to burst through the Kennen before the Kennen can respond in kind. Kennen all now coming out, but they just don't have the damage. Zeri going over the wall, but the stun already coming through. A clean kick from Elyoya. Exakick running, Exakick trying to stand and deliver, but he does not have the damage. He does not have the health bar, and he is out of time. Mad Lions keeping their top 8 dreams alive as they tear through SK in this game. Hylissang Pyke absolutely delivering.
Gonna end here. It's only DOS left. Baron up creeps. 4 versus 1. DOS is just running away from the base, popping emotes. He knows it's done and dusted. It's really gonna hurt XL and Heretics this win, but Mad Lions punch themselves to 3, and they're tying with Fnatic now.
Huge win. You can see elation on the faces of many members. Carzzy, calm, cool, collected at the end of the day.
Much needed win for Mad, and they picked it up.
Absolutely, and it's weird because the level of execution we saw from Mad today, I forgot for the vast majority of that game that this was a team who was fighting to make it into top 8 whatsoever. This was the level Mad I think we're expected to come in at, and the level that they've struggled to show across the vast majority of spring, but you can show up when it counts. That's what matters most.
They finished 2nd in winter, so as much championships points as they can get is what they need. Locking top 8 is the first step in that journey to MSI. And just accruing as many as possible.
You guys are fine, the camera's not. You're getting
Nisqy just ducking under the
I respect the little army crawl, though.
So,
there they are.
SK won't be too bothered by that loss. I think they're sitting pretty comfortably in terms of wins, in terms of locking that top 8.
Yeah, and again,
still need to get there.
Absolutely do. One more game ahead of them. We'll see how they'll face up against the opposition tomorrow. And obviously, you want to get as much practice in. You want to be as clean as you can coming into groups. It's going to be a massive patch shift. So getting these wins, getting better placement, getting as high up as you can so you can potentially pick your opponent or avoid some of the bigger teams is a big deal. But play of the game at LEC on Twitter. You know where to go. You know what to do. Elyoya, Carzzy, Hylissang.
Hilly had some Hilly moments, but he also made so much playmaking available.
He had Hilly moments, and that's the thing. That's that word has two connotations. You got both that game.
Yeah, some good plays, some bad. You know, the river fight was tough, but the rest of it was great.
Absolutely was. Well, that's enough from us. Let's send it back over to the desk with Sjokz, Yamato, and Hylissang.
You'll get there soon.
Thank you so much. In fact, we are waiting for the man himself, Hilly. They said it could not be done. You should not be playing Pyke here. And he said, middle finger.
100%. I'm curious about the conversation in the draft, because there's been many moments where Hilly just goes quiet, and then he's always picking 5th because he's a support, and then he just locks in Pyke, and then you just say, rock and roll. It's time for Hilly Pyke.
Rock and roll, exactly. But to be fair to the game, in the beginning it was like, oh yeah, rock and roll. And then it was a little like, ooh, maybe not.
It kind of slowed down a little bit, and it got me worried because of how the composition is. But, you know, Hilly's walking in now. He's burning flashes. It gave me flashbacks to the old Hilly Pyke. Come here, man.
Hug, yeah.
Good to see you, Hilly.
Nice. Glad we got that. Hi, Hilly.
Hello.
I'm going to give you some context about the conversation around the draft, because we were actually doing the draft here on the desk, and the champions came out. It was time for you to pick, and Yamato said, Pyke, yeah, you know, it's a great champion, but it's horrible to pick into this composition. And we thought, would he do it then? Because it is hard to pick it into the draft. First off, do you agree that it's horrible to pick it into that?
I think Pyke ruins every draft. So it's like not good to pick, but I think if you have like good plays early game and you make use of the champ, then it's not that bad. But you need to make him work early game, otherwise he'll be completely useless. And I think we did make him work. We burned some summoners, and then Pyke doesn't look that useless. Yeah.
No, for sure. I think the moment when I saw you burning flashes, like in one go, I knew, okay, it gave me flashbacks to when you played it against G2, you know, when just one hook and burning 2 sums. It's then I knew, okay, Hilly's in his element, and I think that's more important than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of forced me to play Pyke, and even in draft I was considering picking up different things, but I even said it that I'll hate myself if I didn't pick Pyke in this game, and I'm really happy that the team trusted me, and that I could pick it as well, since it's really hard to do enemy comp.
Of course.
22 wins, 9 losses all time, Hilly on Pyke. It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
That's pretty decent. I want to ask you, Hilly, since you guys came into this weekend, you know, it's been a rough couple of weeks now in the regular split. Coming into this game, I felt like this was a very big confidence draft for you guys, because I saw everyone on champions that I kind of recognized them by. What was the approach coming in today, and what was the general feel of the team?
I mean, the general feel of the team was quite positive. Like, we were quite happy and stuff. We were trying to keep the mood up and try to keep our heads up, yeah, and know that we really have to win and make it to the playoffs. Yeah, I think it wasn't too stressed or anything. I think we were quite relaxed, and I think something that we do quite well is trusting the players, and the coaching staff behind it, I think, is doing a great job of like supporting us and like giving us the right environment. And maybe yesterday was not the best, but usually we have pretty fine drafts, I think. And yeah, I think we were well prepared today. We knew what they're gonna pick and stuff, so I think we did a good job.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, Hilly, in the contrast of the previous split, you guys got 2nd place. It was the finals against G2. We can only view your team, of course, from the outside. How would you describe your challenges? Because the contrast is so harsh, right? 2nd place and now struggling. Now you got this win. Probably you're going to get into playoffs, of course. What are some of the challenges you guys have been facing?
Honestly, I think there was quite a lot of things that we were doing wrong, and we were not on the same page, especially me and Elyoya. But we had like a group talk, and we said a lot of things that we should improve on and that we didn't like about each other. And now it's like way more loose and more relaxed. There is no like, if it's silent, if the environment is silent, it's not like awkward, you know, it's just normal. And I think that was quite an improvement, and I think was very needed. And also I feel like the practice was not very accurate, since in practice a lot of teams just ban random, and we get like Rakan or Drakos or like our comfort champs like Annie, and then we play this and then we go on stage and they ban these 3 champs. And we're playing completely different drafts for first time, and then it's like we're not used to it. So I think it's also like scrims are a bit fake dated as well.
I see.
Definitely so. Just so as producers wouldn't be mad at me, group stage first, bracket stage as a whole, playoffs after that.
I don't know what I said.
They're fighting to go into the group stage, but now you have 3 wins, so it is looking much more likely than it did when you only had 2, Hylissang. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, we're going to head over to a quick break, but when we come back, we've got BDS versus Koi. Don't go anywhere. Oh.
Wild Ghost should not be enough here. Nisqy gonna come over the wall with the claws. Hidden into the wall. They can't see it coming, but they don't have the tools to respond, even if they did. That's the snare now going in. Elyoya with the follow up on the kick. DOS! Clean sidestep, but it will not stop the reset. Hylissang finding that extra money.
Okay, okay. They are running people, but we kill him first. Just one shot. He has no Zonia.
We can also trap them with rotation.
Okay, okay, okay.
Look, they are coming here. They are coming here. Trap Hyle.
I don't know. I just want to go there.
Okay, okay. Look, Sion.
Sion.
You guys can kill him as well.
Yeah, we can. He's dead. Good job, good job. Okay, okay.
Oh, I'm deep.
Peel back.
I'm deep. It's bad.
Why is that? Okay. Look, Zeri.
There you guys.
Sion. Wait, I can't. Okay.
Very good. She flash cleanse.
Kill her.
She's dead.
Okay. We have top wave.
Top.